Welcome to Ambleside, a timeless gem nestled at the head of Windermere, England's largest natural lake, right in the heart of the Lake District National Park. To truly understand this remarkable place, we must look beyond its charming grey slate buildings and busy outdoor shops to uncover a rich, multi-layered story that spans nearly 2,000 years. This landscape, shaped by the elements, farming, tourism, and the arts, has earned its place as part of the English Lake District UNESCO World Heritage Site. The very ground you walk on carries the echoes of Roman soldiers, Norse settlers, medieval monks, and the legendary artists of the Romantic movement. It is a place where history and nature are seamlessly woven together, creating an atmosphere that has inspired writers, explorers, and visitors for generations. Our journey back in time begins on the southern edge of the town at Waterhead, where the lake narrows into the fertile Rothhay Valley. Here, in the year 79, Roman soldiers established the fort of Galava during their campaign across northern Britain. Built as a strategic crossroads to guard key transport routes linking the coast, the Pennines, and the distant northern frontier, this crucial military garrison once housed a sizable force of around 500 soldiers. Today, you can wander through the quiet, grass-covered stone outlines of their granaries, barracks, and commanders' quarters, imagining the daily routines of military life in the 1st and 2nd centuries. Archaeological excavations have uncovered a wealth of history here, with Roman pottery, ancient tools, and domestic items discovered on the site. These treasures are now beautifully preserved and displayed at the nearby Armitt Museum, allowing us to connect with the very real lives of the people who guarded this frontier long ago. Following the departure of the Romans, the valley welcomed new waves of settlers who left an enduring mark on the landscape. Around the 9th century, Norse farmers arrived in the region, clearing the woodland and establishing farming homesteads. We know this because of the town's name itself, which derives from the Old Norse words Ambleside, meaning river, sandbank, and summer pasture. By the medieval period, Ambleside had evolved into a bustling center of farming and trade, eventually placed under the control of the barony of Ghyll. These lands were later passed to the monks of Furness Abbey, who established essential trade routes that traversed the high, rocky mountain passes. The town's commercial importance was officially secured in 1650 when it was granted a market charter, followed by a toll charter during the reign of King James II. Packhorse trains laden with wool, cloth, and local produce became a common sight along the old trails, and Smithy Brow was the very place where blacksmiths worked to reshoe the hardy pack ponies after their long, grueling journeys across the fells. The coming of the turnpike roads in 1770 gradually replaced the slow packhorse trains with horse-drawn stagecoaches, which regularly travelled between Kendal and Keswick via Ambleside. However, the most dramatic transformation occurred in 1847 with the arrival of the railway branch line in nearby Windermere. This new connection brought trains from the main Lancaster to Carlisle route right to the eastern shore of the lake. What had been a quiet rural parish was suddenly transformed into a major gateway for travellers. Victorian visitors arrived by train and boarded diesel-propelled lake steamers to journey up Windermere to Waterhead. Drawn by the theories of the Romantic movement and a deep desire to experience unspoiled natural beauty, these tourists flooded the area, prompting the rapid growth of Ambleside's hotels, guest houses, and specialist shops to meet the sudden demand shaping the town's present-day layout. As we explore the heart of Ambleside, we encounter its most famous and beloved landmark, the Bridge House. Built more than 300 years ago over the rushing waters of Ghyll, this miniature stone structure is widely considered one of the most photographed buildings in the entire Lake District. Originally constructed by the Braithwaite family of Ambleside Hall to serve as a summer house and an apple store for their nearby orchards, this tiny building has worn an astonishing variety of hats over the centuries. It has served as a counting house for the mills of Ghyll, a tea room, a weaving shop, a cobbler's workshop, and a chairmaker's space. By the early 20th century, the building had fallen into poor condition. In 1926, local residents came together to raise funds to purchase and save the decaying structure, passing its care to the National Trust. Today, you can step inside its 2 tiny, sparsely furnished rooms and marvel at how such a small space could hold so much history. Just a short walk behind the town's busy shops and cafes lies another natural wonder, Ghyll Falls. This spectacular 70-foot waterfall tumbles down a narrow wooded gorge surrounded by ancient trees and carpets of wildflowers. A gentle, family-friendly loop walk of just over 1 mile leads you from the town centre straight into this magical woodland. As you follow the path, the sound of rushing water builds gradually until you reach the wooden viewing platforms where you can safely stand and watch the torrent cascade over the dark rocks. Visitors can walk up one side of the stream, cross the small wooden bridge above the falls, and return down the opposite path to create a short circular loop. This powerful stream was not always just a place of beauty, however. In the 18th and 19th centuries, the fast-flowing waters of Ghyll drove around a dozen mills in the town below, powering the production of textiles, paper, and wooden bobbins, proving that nature and industry have always been deeply intertwined in Ambleside's history. Returning to the town centre, our eyes are drawn to the striking stone spire of St. Mary's Church. Designed by the famous architect George Gilbert Scott and completed in the 1850s, its spire is an unusual and elegant feature in the traditional landscape of Westmoreland. Inside the church, a magnificent mural depicts the historic rush-bearing ceremony, a local tradition celebrated on the first Saturday of July. This beautiful piece of art was painted during the Second World War when the Royal College of Art was evacuated to Ambleside. For those who wish to delve even deeper into the town's cultural heart, the Armitt Museum, Gallery, and Library is an indispensable stop. Founded in 1912 in memory of the brilliant Armitt sisters, this unique independent library houses over 11,000 books detailing the social and natural history of the fells. Here you can view original Roman artifacts, Beatrix Potter's exquisite scientific watercolors of fungi, and works connected to the revolutionary modernist artist Kurt Schwitters, who spent his final years in the town. Ambleside has long been a sanctuary for independent minds and creative souls. The legendary poet William Wordsworth lived just a short distance away, working as the distributor of stamps for Westmoreland in Ambleside before becoming poet laureate. His daily wanderings took him across Nab Scar along the historic Coffin route, an ancient track connecting Ambleside to Grasmere. This scenic path rises and falls gently through the meadows of Rydal Park and past Wordsworth's former homes at Rydal Mountain Dove Cottage. It earned its sombre name because it was used to carry coffins to the consecrated ground of St. Oswald's churchyard in Grasmere. Walking this route today, you can also explore the legacy of Harriet Martineau, a Victorian social reformer and writer who lived at her self-designed home, The Knoll, where she ran a pioneering micro-farm and taught local families how to build their own homes. However, this idyllic landscape faces serious modern challenges. The delicate ecosystem of Windermere is currently under threat from excessive phosphorus levels, largely driven by discharges from the Ambleside wastewater treatment works on the River Rothay. This nutrient pollution fuels toxic blue-green algal blooms that suffocate the lake, posing a severe danger to wildlife, pets, and swimmers. Local campaigners with the Save Windermere movement have documented catastrophic declines in native species, including a 64% reduction in invertebrates in the River Rothay and a dramatic crash in sea trout populations. Activists are pointing to successful international examples, such as Lake Annecy in France, which was transformed into Europe's cleanest lake by channeling sewage away from the water catchment. They argue that protecting Windermere is not only an ecological necessity, but an economic one, as the health of the Lake District's multi-million-pound visitor economy depends entirely on preserving the pristine beauty of its waters. If you are planning your own slow-travel adventure to Ambleside, here are a few essential tips to ensure a safe and memorable visit. Always wear sturdy, grippy walking boots or shoes, as the damp woodland paths and rocky fell tracks can become incredibly muddy and slippery, especially after the heavy rainfall that characterizes this oceanic climate. To beat the crowds and experience the landmarks at their most tranquil, set out early in the morning when the rising sun casts a soft light over Ghyll and the ancient stone arches. To help protect the environment and avoid the frustration of narrow roads and limited parking, leave your car behind and take the scenic double-decker bus, or board a traditional diesel ferry from Waterhead Pier. Now for one strange and remarkable fact to ponder as you explore. During the Victorian era, the tiny two-room bridge house, which measures just a few feet across, was remarkably home to a local cobbler and his family of 8 people who somehow lived, slept, and worked within its incredibly cramped stone walls. Ambleside is a truly magical place where every single step reveals a new layer of history, culture, and breathtaking natural beauty. If you enjoyed this journey through the heart of the English Lake District, please share this video, like and subscribe to our channel for more slow travel guides. Thank you for listening, and remember that this script is for educational and informational purposes only, and is not a definitive travel guide, so please always check local route conditions and safety advice before setting off on your own adventures. We hope you have a fantastic and safe trip as you explore this beautiful Cumbrian corner of the British Isles.